Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hook and Stitch in Island Style. I'm Antoinette, your hostess, coming to you from Deer Island, New Brunswick, Canada, located in the Bay of Fundy. I want to welcome all returning Fiber family members, new Fiber family members. Think this might interest you? Want to join the family? Click on the subscribe, the bell, and all, and hopefully YouTube will notify you when I upload a video, have a live, or post on the community tab. As it says, let's have a chat. I'm just doing, just a quick catch up, show you a few patterns and stuff and projects and yeah, they're new projects, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Um, Literally the last couple days, I got the pool opened up. Our guy showed up to open the pool, and then the fun began. I had to brush the whole bottom where the algae was, and I had to fill the pool up to where it got enough water in it that I could run the pump. And then I had to put some chemicals in it, and I had to run that for an hour. Then I started the vacuuming process. I put Creepy, which is our automatic vacuum, and there was 3 sessions of that, and then I shut it down last night, and then this morning I ran the vacuum a couple times, and then I had to put in check the levels for the chemicals, and the pH was low, and the alkalinity was low, so I had to put the chemicals in to boost them up. So now it's running has run for at least 4 hours. Then I'll test it again to see if I need to add more chemicals, but it's pretty clear, and I still have one more vacuum to do because there's still a little bit in there, but once we get this all done and the water's tolerable, it's not cold, but it's not warm either, so it's right about 62 degrees. A little chilly. So that's what mainly I've been doing the last 2 days. Made a couple loaves of bread and went to Cars last night. But it's just been me and the girls because Barb went to spend the weekend with a friend of hers. So it's been busy with the girls. So what I've been doing is I just finished actually putting away stitch markers and stuff like that. And wanted to show you. I've been going through some patterns. I don't know what it gets into me. I know I've got a lot of projects on the go, but like I worked on my sock. I'm on the foot of 2 socks. Um, I'm on round 120 of Solar Flare, which means 11 rounds to go before it flames. But I did a couple. I did a quickie while I was sitting here. Again, trying to use yarn from the stash. I don't remember. This popped up. I don't know if it was on. I think it was an email I got or some in one of my feeds. It was a free pattern from Hirschner's. Sorry about that, dropped my ball bands. It was a free pattern from Hirschner's, and I thought it was cute, and it would be a fairly quick make, just something. And it was called the Seashell Satchel. Say that 3 times fast. But it's a free pattern off of Hirschner's website. That's what it looks like. So I pretty much have it all done. It took a day. 3 or 4 hours one day, and then the next day I finished up and then put it together. Let's see. Okay, this is the bag. Now I have to do the surface crochet to do the spines of the seashell. Okay, but I got my button on, and where these markers are at, if you look along here, you'll see some markers. They're hard to see because they're gold. On here, those are where I will surface crochet up to. And then the handles aren't tied on yet. I just have them put on with stitch markers. I gotta sew the handles on, and then it'll be done. For this, I just thought it was make a cute project bag. It could be for the summer, go to the beach, what have you. But it's all cotton. It was made out of. I did it with Yarn Inspirations, Karen Cotton Cakes, and this has been in my stash for quite a while, 5 years maybe, 4 years. Karen Cotton Cakes. And the colorway, I'll show you here. That's the colorway. The colorway is called Blushing Melon. and it's a number 4. I think it's more of a 3. If you look at it, it's more of a 3. Because, do I have a 4? Yeah, I have a 4 weight here, I think. Yeah. This here is a 4 weight. This is just a mainstay. This is a 4. Dog hair. This is a 4 weight. And then this is what they're calling a 4 weight, but I'd say it's more of a 3 weight. If you look at them, you can see the difference. So the Karen Cotton Cakes, I think, is more of a 3. Black yarn was puppy hair. So I got to vacuum my cracker again. Anyways, so this here is it's not 100% cotton. It's 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. So I wouldn't really advise using this for dishcloths, but you can make a garment with it. These bags, and it's really nice to work with. It's real nice to work with. So that was just a quick project I had done. I just got to do the finishing work on it. And then if you remember me telling you, about a month ago, one of the guys I played cards with, him and his wife are expecting their first child. Well, they found the gender. It's going to be a girl, which is what I was hoping for. A couple of reasons. Let me put these back in the bag before I forget. If you remember, I think I had shown you. If not, I'd shown somebody, but I'll show you now. I had found this vintage Serdar pattern. It's Serdar Baby and Cream Classic Knits for babies. This is all the different outfits you can make. They had this one. This is from, and this is vintage. Just trying to find if there's a year on it. Nope, there's no year on it. But I had found this one. I thought it would be so cute, right? I'm going, oh man, I hope they're having a girl. I hope they're having a girl, right? So let me find a picture of it so I can show it to you. Here's the picture. It's vintage. Okay. So I started doing the dress. Ran into problems. Stitch counts weren't working out right. So I just ripped it and said, I'll come back to this. So instead, I found this really cute dress. And what's really neat, it's for a specific yarn, which I have in my stash, plenty of. And that is the Premier that's a knotted mess right now because I got yarn vomit. The Premier Bloom. Okay. And I actually had the color Hydrangea, which is what the pattern is done in. Now, this is a DK, which is what the pattern called for. So this is acrylic. I think it's 100% acrylic. Let me see. Yeah, it's 100% acrylic. So this is the pattern I found. It was a free pattern. I got it off Ravelry. It's by Premier, and it's called the Sweetheart Dress. So I'm making that in a 12-month. And it's really not, and this is this is what the back of the dress looks like. So I think it's cute is how the flowers are going to self-pattern and work up. So I've just started working on it. Now, it's a pattern. It's not a pattern that you can do while watching TV. Not right now, anyhow, with what I'm doing, because there's stitch counts. There is 2 pattern, what they call the Sweetheart Pattern A and Pattern B. And right now, I'm working on this right here. I had to do 6 repeats of these 2 rows, and you have to pay attention because you're increasing, make one right, make one left, and then as soon as I finish doing the 6 repeats on this, it gets into even more fun. Working in pattern is established, and then once I finish that, I'm going to repeat row 1, but at the same time, work through row 16 of the sweetheart pattern. So yeah, it can be. It's something you have to pay attention to, but it's really sweet. So that's what I started. I have till October. I just wanted to get it on the needles. You know, those are the 2 projects I started. Then I had a little bit of time. My hands were hurting because sweeping the pool yesterday with the brushing up the algae and stuff, so I could vacuum it up. My shoulders are really, really feeling it today. Excuse me. So then I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, I found these 2 other patterns for baby stuff. Now this one here is the Diamond Baby Dress, and this is it's 2-star, the difficulty level. So I'd say advanced, beginner, intermediate. It's called the Diamond Baby Dress, and it's got little Mary Jane booties. Again, it's a free pattern. I'll have to link these in the description box below. But I just thought that was so adorable. This is the one that really had me really wanting to cast on. But as I'm reading through the pattern, this pattern was designed by a woman from Russia. It was posted on her blog in Russian with the directions. Now there was an English translation done by Lena on KP. I don't know what KP is. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I'll have to find out. I'll have to do a little bit of research. I'm just going to move you a little bit here, because I had to shut Obi off. But this is absolutely stunning. It's called the Elizabeth coat. Look at the bow in the back. It is so cute. But as I'm reading through the pattern, this is going to prove to be a very challenging, very advanced pattern. This is for a size 3 to 4 toddlers. So this is something I'd make for one of my niece, my great niece or something. But it's something it's got 6 different cables used in 16 different sections that are divided by seed stitch. Now how she describes this, the cables you use are your choice as long as you work out the stitch count. So not only are you having to figure out which cable stitch you're going to use, but you also have to figure out the math for your stitch count. Now, she gives links in the pattern for tutorials on how to do the cable stitches. Cables I don't have a problem with. I can read a cable pattern. And then it goes on to show you how to do it, it's a vague pattern. So this, to me, probably get pretty frustrating. I mean, you cast on 330 stitches. That's a big start. You see how he's being just obnoxious this morning? Just the way the day is going. But anyway, I mean, it's stunning. It's stunning. So I found that. One of the other patterns that I've had in my Ravelry library for a while, I never printed up, but we had talked earlier. I have all these mini skeins. What can I do with these mini skeins? I've had this pattern. This is a pattern by Sandra Paul of the Cherry Heart podcast. Just got dark in here too, didn't it? There. That'll help. Yeah, there you go. It's the Battenberg blanket. There's a lot of people that have been making this blanket over the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, she came out with this quite a while ago. But it's a great project for mini skeins. It's a very long-term project. I've seen people doing this. The pattern calls for, are you ready for this? 1,020 blocks. Now, one of the ladies I watched doing this was joining them as she was going, and she was using it for her scrapped, sock yarn, because it is a fingering weight yarn that's used. This is a crochet blanket. The blanket's 34 by 30, 34 squares by 30 squares, and it's made with a 3mm crochet hook. It takes approximately 3,500 yards of minis to make this blanket, but you have one color that is solid. But this is the blanket. It's called the Battenberg blanket. Again, any patterns I show you will be in the description box below. So, and I showed you this one. That's just some crochet afghans I was looking at. So I'm going to make a baby blanket to go to, but I don't know if it's going to be crochet or knit. We'll see how after I knit up the making that dress, and then it'll be a little sweater or cardi and hat to go with it with booties. Then I just pulled out some of my books here. I was just looking through them. One I was looking through was a gift from little sis there, Darlene, a couple years ago, my Advent. And this was the Island Knits from Mini Mills, Belfast Mini Mills on Prince Edward Island. And I was looking at these Island Bonfire socks. So that was something I was looking at. And then I was looking through Take the Plunge. You know, I've knit a lot of these. And with the upcoming interview of Lindsay, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should just... I really was thinking about casting on either doing another Submerge. I think I'm going to do another Submerge shawl. I had done one in Bloom yarn in Morning Glory. And I gifted that as a giveaway prize a couple years ago. Last year, year before. So redoing the Submerge shawl with my favorite cables, drop stitches. Something else I was looking at. Then I pulled out, just looking through it, I've been on this vintage kick. I guess because I'm old, I'm vintage. The book I had showed you guys this book when I had got it. It was Karina from Just Vintage Crochet that had shown the book, and I got it from Amazon, I think. But it is line brand vintage patterns in modern day terms. So there's a lot in here. You know, that you can do that are vintage patterns. It shows you the vintage pattern on the one side, and then it shows you the modern day of as they've redone it, like this one here. You know, this is the vintage pattern, and then this is it in modern day. I thought this was pretty neat looking. It's called a waistcoat, or open waistcoat, or something like that. So I'm looking through that. And then I pulled out one of my very vintage knitting magazines called Fashion Knitting. And this is from, I looked it up, the 70s or the 70s? It's printed in Italy for distribution in the United States, which means 1982. So this is vintage. So could I do a crochet along or knit along with this book? Absolutely, because it's vintage. Its copyright has passed its time. That's where a lot of people can do the vintage patterns without getting permission from the designer, what have you. Is it a courtesy to do that? Absolutely. I don't even think this book is in publication anymore. It's called Fashion Knitting. I mean, it's Knitting Fever Incorporated. Now, I have heard of a Knitting Fever. I think Crystal from Bag a Day had talked about she gets yarn from them. I'll have to see if it's the same company. But on the back here it shows vintage ivory knitting needles. The Rolls-Royce of knitting needles. They have the appearance, the feel, the durability, the smoothness, the memory, and the warmth of real ivory. So that shows you how vintage it is. I'll have to do a little research, see if these are still available. DPNs. I don't think circulars were in yet. You had your straight needles and you had your DPNs. But this intrigued me because I love a long French cuff and I love the balloon sleeve. That intrigued me. So, and how these work is it shows you the picture, then you've got to go through the magazine and you find the instructions. Okay, number 16 is called... Number 16 is the Dorothy Patchwork. And that's how they have the pattern. Okay. So when you're reading this, and like, again, back in this day, it was just, you know, small, medium, and large. Once in a while you get an extra large. if you know how to do your math, you can usually figure out how to make a larger size. But I mean, it is so vague and short, these patterns. I mean, literally, it's like that. That's all there is for the pattern. So there's a lot of, yeah, paying attention to that. So something I want to read through and check it out. But it has some really cute patterns in here. And I've got a stack of vintage magazines. So that's some of the things I was doing. I am going to have a pop-up live today. I don't know if this will upload before I do that or not. So I was looking around 4 o'clock, 4:30, doing a pop-up live. Just because I haven't been on. So just check in with everybody and stuff. So that's all I have for now. So I hope wherever you're at, you're staying safe, you're healthy, you're happy, doing what it is that makes you happy. And remember, hug, smiles, and happiness. Pass it on. Make the world a better place each and every day. Be that light in somebody's dark day. Here's bye for now from Deer Island. I'll see you in the next video. Love you all.